All right, I guess we're gonna start. So, um, so do you guys want me to talk about how I'm learning Japanese? Because quite a lot of people were asking me, like how I learn it, and I can. I thought I would share it here on the screen. All right, so you're trying to learn Japanese. Uh, I guess you're in luck. So, uh, let's start this out. So, starting off with the books, I'm learning. I'm using the Genki book at the moment. This is the first part, and I'm already done with this one, and I'm studying with the second one. So here's the second one. It's just green. So I'm on the second chapter, and I guess I'll talk about like my process. And so first first of all, when I started learning Japanese, I began writing everything into copybooks, and this was the first one that I had. I've already filled this up completely, and there isn't too much stuff in this one because, well, it's just kind of small. And then I got this one. It's like it's called Escalada. I guess if you want to search for it, you can look for that. And it has like two sections, so it's divided up. And so here I write down all of the grammar and like actual sentence structure and all that. So this is where I would write it down. Like for example, let's see. I have some of these tables in here. So this is the Katakana Table, and then let me show a section that has some useful stuff in it. So here, for example, I've got all of the words related to time. So for example, New Year's would be Oshogatsu. And like it's just like a list of different words related to time. So I got Oshogatsu, Kongaki, which means this semester, Raigaki, which means next semester. Then, for example, we've got Yube, which means last night. Shorai, it means the future, and so on. And then on the other side of the copybook, I've got all of the vocab stuff. And as you can see in the beginning, I was writing everything down in just in English, just how it's written. But then when I learned katakana and hiragana, by the way, if you're learning Japanese and you still don't know all of the kana, I would highly suggest to spend your time to learn it, because it was kind of annoying to relearn all of the words and how they're written into the kana. So just learn it right away. It's not really that difficult. There are apps for a mobile phone which you can use to memorize it. So here I've got Katakana Pro and Hiragana Pro. They're both free apps, I believe. And these are the apps that I use to learn all of the kana. So, for example, so here it shows you one of the kana symbols, and then you have to guess which one it is. Well, first it teaches you the symbol. So here it shows me how it's written, and it shows me how you read it, and then you go through them and you learn new ones as well as memorizing the ones that you already knew. So this is a pretty useful one, and I suggest to learn all of the kana with these two apps, Hiragana Pro and Katakana Pro. So then, once you've actually learned the kana, you have to keep in mind that there is a certain way that you have to write it. So I have written it all down here in my copybook, and it shows you, like, for example, here's the symbol that is read as U. So this is just pretty much the letter U in Japanese. And if you notice there, it actually shows you, I've actually written down like how you write each stroke. And you can't just write it the way that you want to. You need to write it a certain way. So I've written that down for all of these, all of the kana, and I've practiced how to write some of it. So here I did some of the practice just to get used to how it's written. But mostly, I practiced the kana by just reading like Japanese words when I was using Memrise, for example. I'll talk about Memrise in a little bit. And also I practiced the kana when I was writing it all down in my copybook. So in the beginning I wrote everything in English, but as you can see here, from some point I started, when I actually learned kana, I started writing everything down in katakana, like I'm supposed to. I mean, in hiragana and katakana. And I really suggest to learn it right away. Don't hesitate to do that. So because then it'll just be a lot easier. And then so that's for the kana. Now the kanji, which is a very important part in Japanese. I write down all of the kanji also in my vocabulary. And if you can see here, I write down the kanji and then how it's read and how it's written. So I do that for every kanji, and then I also do, I put an example sometimes. So here, as you can see, I write the kanji above, and then I put an example of a word that uses this particular kanji. Sometimes it can be just this kanji alone, and it can already mean a word just alone by itself. So then, where do you find new kanji to learn? There are very useful apps. I absolutely suggest against buying a book for learning kanji. I think it's just a waste. So I would suggest to get 2 apps. One of which is very important just for learning Japanese in general. It's called Tenjin. I guess I'll write it down on in chat. So it is Tenjin Pro. Hold on. This app is it's not free, but it's like $1, I think, or $2. Yeah, I think it's $2. And it is very useful for learning Japanese. So here you can find like all of the adjectives, like any kind of vocab, and also what's very useful is you can find the kanji. So, for example, if I found the kanji for play, for example, somewhere I just saw it in like a Japanese text, I can come in here and enter the kanji. So that is the kanji for play in Japanese. And then, as you can see there on the left, on the right, there is kanji that you can select, because it doesn't know if you're looking for a word or or the kanji, or you're looking for a text with that symbol. But you just select kanji, and then it shows you this. So then you click on the kanji itself, and then it shows you all of the information that you need. It shows you how to write it. It shows you how to read it. It shows you the meaning of it, and that's where I look up all of the new kanji and then write them down into my copybook. Also, maybe if you don't want to get the app, or if you want to use this on your computer, because this is only for your phone, you can use this very, very useful website. I'm gonna also leave a link in the comments. This is a website that allows you to, well, it's pretty much just a dictionary, just like the app that I just showed you. So here, actually, I guess this I can show on my screen. Hold on for a second. So we're gonna go to this website. So here it is. Wait, hold on. Okay, so here I can look for a new kanji that I do not know. So let's see the same kanji, asobu, that we just talked about. So I can write it in here, and then I can look for it, and then here it shows me, it just shows me the words that have that that kanji. But if you see on the right here, it actually shows you the kanji itself. So then you can click on details, and then here is all of the information, just like in that app. So it shows you how to read it. It shows you the meaning. There can be several meanings. This one just has this one. And then here it shows you step by step how you write it. And maybe some of you won't really care about how to write the kanji or the kana. But I personally like to learn it because I don't know, I just want to thoroughly understand Japanese very well and be able to write the characters correctly. So I like to learn the stroke order for all of the kanji that I learn. So this is pretty much how I learn new kanji, but maybe you don't know where to, like what kanji to look up, because here it wants you. Oh, by the way, yeah, if you don't want to look for it and then go here, you can just search the kanji that you want and then put hashtag kanji. So if you don't know where to find new kanji and you just want to learn more without just waiting to come across it someday, there is also an app for that, and there are websites. So let me show you this one app that I'm using right now. So it's called Tsukiji. It's the one on the top in the middle, and this app it has kanji for all of the Japanese tests, for all of the Japanese proficiency tests, and so it goes from N5, which is the lowest level, to N1, which is the highest, and then it has more, even more than what the test has. So here there's all of the N5 ones, as you can see. I'm not really sure if that shows up on the camera well, but I've already went through all of the kanji for the first level, and then this is N4, which is the next more difficult level. Here I've only gone through 136 out of 166, and then you just go, you just look through these kanji, right? And this app also, it shows you some of the readings and it shows you some of the meanings of the kanji, but it doesn't even show you the stroke order. So I choose to look up new kanji here, and then search for them on either on Jisho, on the dictionary that I showed you, or on my Tenjin Pro app. So that's where I look for new kanji, or sometimes I just come across them when I'm like, if I'm chatting with a Japanese friend of mine and they write a character that I've not seen before. I then look it up to see what it means and to write it down into my copybook. So then you've got all of the information in your copybook, and then what do you do with it? You need to somehow practice all of that. So I use Anki for that. I've talked about Anki quite a lot in my videos. It is a very useful app. So so let's go to the vocab. So I have all of these words, right? I need to somehow practice them regularly. So that's why I use Anki. And actually, I guess maybe I should show this on my PC rather. Hold on. So here we've got Japanese. I've got several decks for different languages. This is the main one, of course, that I use. So it asks me a word, and then it wants me to try to remember that word. So I actually do not remember what kosaten means. So let me see. So it's either intersection or crossing. So like in the street. So then if you didn't guess the word, you can click soon, which means that you didn't guess it, and and Anki is going to give you the word again in a little bit of time. Then this is useless or no good. So as you can see, it sometimes it gives you the word in English and you have to translate to Japanese, and sometimes it gives you in Japanese and you have to translate it into English. So here it's asking me useless or no good. I believe it is akan, and I think akan. Yeah, I think that's it. Right. So that was correct. And then I can choose how hard was it for me to remember the word. So I guess it was okay. And then you just go through all of the words that you learned and you practice them. You practice them like in the subway, on a bus, wherever you have free time. And that way you're learning new words, because as you can see, it has like it says 10, 1, and 8. 10 is the new words that I've not seen yet. So this is I need money. I think that is okane ga hitsuyo desu. Let's see. Okane ga hitsuyo desu. Yes, that was correct. So then I can click good. And the red number, so the blue number is the new words. The red number is it's the words that you need to repeat during this session. So I clicked good when I was answering okane ga hitsuyo desu. So it wants me, because I didn't say that it was good, it wants me to repeat it to make sure that I really know the word well. Then, as you can see, there's a green number as well. That's the words that you have already seen before, and it wants you to repeat them, which is pretty much the most important thing in Anki. It's to revise the words that you already know. So, ie means, so here it shows me how it's written in kanji, and then it shows me how it's written in kana, so how you read it. So ie means house or home. Yes, that is correct. So I can click good. I need time is jikan ga hitsuyo desu. Let's see if that's correct. So yeah, this is how you write jikan in kanji, and then hitsuyo desu. Yep, that's correct. So good. And then you practice like this. Some people say that they don't have time for learning languages. But yeah, those people probably do have time, because when you're on the bus, you have plenty of free time that you're not using for anything. When you're in the subway, you're not really doing anything useful. Maybe, I don't know, if you're going to sleep, maybe before sleeping, you can learn, you can revise your words with Anki, and I think pretty much anyone has time for learning languages if they just know the right tools. So I guess that is about it. Let me see what I did not cover. Oh, right. So regarding practice, it is very important to just watch content in Japanese. So there are a few YouTube channels that I watch that are in Japanese. So I guess maybe I will suggest some of those to you to practice. Let me see if I can find any of them. You can also watch anime, of course, or Japanese doramas, or basically just Japanese shows, which are in Japanese. So that just helps you. That helps your listening comprehension, because you will be able to understand Japanese better when you're talking to people. So it's very important to practice. I'm trying to find some channels. All right, the very obvious one that plenty of people should know about is Japanese Pod 101. So of course it's a podcast, but it is also, they also have a YouTube channel, and they have plenty of channels for learning German, learning French, learning Spanish. As you can see, it's all here. So it is very useful. Let's see, in their videos, they have practice. This is the reading practice. They have listening practice as well. Let me see if I can find a listening practice video of theirs. They have tips. They have actually, they've made some of these videos not too long ago about learning kanji. Those are also very useful. Then they have these children's Japanese songs. Those are, again, for listening comprehension, and like you listen to the song, and because it's a children's song, it's very easy to understand. So that's pretty handy. I don't really watch those videos, but I think those could be very useful as well. So, oh, right here. So Japanese listening. These are very useful. Right now, I'm kind of stuck on the second lesson, on the second beginner listening lesson, and I just, like, I was listening to it and I couldn't understand it that well, and I understood that I needed to practice my Japanese a bit more. But those are very useful. I went through all of the absolute beginner ones, so I suggest you check that out. I suggest you check out Japanese Pod 101. They have some very useful videos for learning Japanese. So then, let's see if there are any other channels that I can suggest to you. Then it's also quite important to actually speak Japanese, to practice speaking it yourself. So for that, I suggest Italki. It's a very useful website to meet new people for language exchange. So let's see, community. No, hold on. How do you find a person here? I remember it was, hold on. Oh, there we go, language partners. So you click on that, and then here you can find a friend to practice speaking Japanese. Actually, obviously this works for any language. So you just select the language that you want to learn. So Japanese in this case, and then you choose if you want it to be a native speaker or not, and then I guess you can select where they live, where they're from, gender, and this is quite important. What language do they know, or what language they are learning themselves? So if you're from Russia like me, you can select Russian, and then it'll show you all of the people that are Japanese and are learning Russian. So then you can contact them and do some language exchange. So you will teach them how to speak Russian, and they will teach you how to speak Japanese. That's actually where I met the friend that I have known for like a year now, and we speak every week for like an hour, and we practice. We mostly speak in Japanese, but I also help him out with Russian as well. So then let me suggest some more YouTube channels. This one is very useful. It is like a Japanese show, and where's the first episode? This is the first episode. So they have this show, which is in Japanese, and it has English subtitles, and it is very useful for practice, and it is actually made for the people that are learning Japanese themselves. So this is very useful. Then this is like, it's like a gaming channel. Well, it is a gaming channel, but they don't have subtitles. I don't think so, but it is very useful for practice, because they, like, gamers have like a very I guess they use a lot of slang, and they speak quite quickly, and they don't it's a bit more difficult to understand. So this is also very useful, and I couldn't understand everything when I was watching their videos. There's another guy that I knew, that I watched on YouTube. He also made, I think I might find him here. Yep, this channel. So I just watched some of these gaming videos, and I could not understand everything, but I could. It was still fun, just based off of the stuff that I could understand. So I suggest maybe watching some gaming YouTubers from Japan, and watching those channels, Japanese Pod 101, as well as I forget what the other one is called. I guess I should leave a link in the description. So those are very good for practice. What else is there I could talk about? So you should, I'll do a small recap. You should write down things into your copybook. You should learn kana, the hiragana and katakana, right away. And then you should, the reason that I suggest writing down everything into a copybook is that you will be practicing the Japanese writing, because Japanese writing is, it's unlike anything else. It's the closest it is to is Chinese, but even Chinese doesn't have the kana. So so it's very useful to write down everything that you learn into a copybook, and to practice the writing. Then the book that I suggest is, once again, Genki, and if you want an intermediate book, I would suggest Tobira. Let me write that in the description. It's written like this, or just Tobira. So this book is for intermediate. I have to warn you, I have not tried it myself, but I have heard some good things about it, and from what I heard, it is a pretty good book for intermediate Japanese. So if you also studied with Genki and you finished both of them, you can study with that one. So next, practicing. You should watch YouTube channels. I left a link for one of them. The other is, of course, Japanese Pod 101. That one is very useful. Even if you just watch that channel alone, that'll be more than enough. And of course, practicing speaking. So you can use italki to find a language partner and practice Japanese with them. Or, once again, any language that you're learning. If you're also learning German, then you can find a partner there. So next, I guess that's pretty much all of the tips that I have for Japanese learning. So now, if any of you have questions, maybe I can answer some of those. So I think that's most of it. Right. So maybe I should talk about studying Japanese at university. If you were planning to, if you were ever thinking about actually going to study Japanese somewhere, like at your school, or majoring in Japanese at university, I would suggest against that, because when you're studying, actually I would suggest against that for any language for that matter, because when you're studying in a particular program, you're kind of limited by that program, and you have to learn by the book that they teach you with. You can't you don't have enough freedom, and if you wanted to focus on something more specific, you wouldn't really have time for that, because you would have to prepare all of the homework, and you would actually have to prepare for the exams in that course. So I would suggest against studying a language at some place. The reason that I am doing that is because that's pretty much the only that's the main thing that I'm interested in right now, and it's fine for me. And I'm also I try to learn more than what they ask of us. So when I have free time, I try to study a bit farther into, like, we also study with the Genki books. So I try to go to the next chapters and go ahead of the program. Hold on, let me switch this real quick. So I think that's pretty much all of the tips that I could give you today. I guess everyone's gonna be leaving now, so I guess that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something useful. So I'll see you later. Goodbye.